How's it going, everyone? This is Precisely Podcast, a podcast about beer and video games. I'm your host, Bo, and with me, as always, we have my master sword to your link. Kelly, how are you?
That's a good one. I was wondering what you were going to do this time. I was thinking about it on the drive home.
Oh, nice. I'm glad I did something then.
That's good. This is good. I like that one a lot.
Good. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. We do have a special guest today. Drum roll, please. We have Mr. Brock, aka B2Wise. Did I say that right? Do I need to start this over? 2Wise?
No, I think that's right. I mean, so my name for most people was Brock Bishop when I started on Instagram, and I thought it was a catchy hook, and my wife busts my balls about it all the time. But yeah, no, it's B twice is pretty
B
much
twice.
The way to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But with the number 2 instead of a T.
Yeah, there's a couple spaces in there too. I think B twice was gone when I originally tried to grab it, so that's how it worked.
So it's B_number 2 WICE for anyone that wants to go on Instagram right now and give him a follow. He is the biggest fan of Nintendo and the collector of collectors when it comes to things with Mario on it. But we will get to that momentarily. Let's talk about beer or alcohol. Brock, what are you drinking on tonight?
So I know that the theme of this show is, a beer and video game podcast. I mean, I'm more of a cocktail guy, as I admitted kind of pre-show. And for me, I had to go with the Wayne Gretzky Canadian whiskey because I'm a Canadian boy, and it was sitting on the shelf, and must have been a Christmas gift at some point, but cracked it open. It's actually going down pretty smooth. So we'll loosen up over the duration of this podcast.
Are you just drinking it straight on the rocks with something?
Yeah, I got ice. I need some ice, and I actually throw a few extra in because you know what? To maybe take out some of the lethalness of it, I don't mind an ice cube or two melting in it.
Right. Does Wayne actually make this whiskey?
I don't know. We have a lot of, so I live in Southern Ontario, so there's a lot of vineyards and wineries. I think this came from there, up near the Niagara region, which would be kind of closer to, upstate New York or Buffalo area. But,
okay.
So I don't think Wayne's in there with, I don't even know how it's done, but I don't think he's in there with a stir stick and adding anything to it. I think he's just slapping his name on the label. That's for sure.
Yeah. Getting paid for his name, essentially.
He's stirring with a hockey stick.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I picture it.
Yeah. I was wondering if the bottle is the shape of a hockey puck or something.
No, it's boring. But anyways,
okay.
It's tasting pretty good.
Awesome. Kelly, what are you drinking on?
So I have a Saranac Brewery Hoptoberfest IPA. So it is a 6% ABV, 45 IBUs. Take a quick sip here. It kind of does taste like an Oktoberfest beer, but with extra hop. I don't know at that, it doesn't taste like a normal IPA to me. It's got a little bit of malt to it. It says that this German-inspired IPA is brewed with a blend of U.S. and Bavarian hops, blending flavors of citrus, pine, and spice, which I do taste, and finished with a balanced maltiness. So yeah, it's like you can kind of taste the malt and the spice from a normal Oktoberfest style beer, but it has like that little hop kick in the beginning. So
that sounds really good.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I got it at like a mix of 6, and I was just grabbing all of the fall beers because I was out of beer and it's time to change over, seasonally. So I grabbed it. I've never had it, and it is very good. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I'm going to look for that next time I'm at the store because I do love Oktoberfest and I do love IPAs. And I've been drinking a lot of Oktoberfest and pumpkin beers, but tonight I'm changing it up to something very different. It's the brewery is one that we're all familiar with and our listeners are familiar with. It's Evergreen Fluidity. It's a sour double IPA.
Sounds good.
And oh my gosh, it tastes like lemonade. It's very sour. It weighs in at an 8%. All they have is tart, fruity, citrusy. But it's like a lemonade IPA. It's very good. And the can art's very beautiful too. It's like trippy colors.
They always do a good job with that.
Yeah. So what you guys been up to, Kelly? Anything interesting?
Nothing interesting here.
Any games you've been playing?
It's been pretty low key on the games. I haven't had too much time in the past couple of weeks, just with my schedule, but I've been still playing Animal Crossing through the Halloween stuff. I've been jumping in some Donkey Kong Country at night before I go to bed to help me relax. And I'm starting this week, the Overwatch Halloween event started on there. So I was jumping back into that with my friends and playing some of that, and looking forward to playing some this weekend and grinding through and trying to get my Diva skin because that's my girl.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean, pretty much I bought the new Crash last week, I think it was.
Okay.
I haven't even had time to play it yet. And I wanted to like play it and be like, hey, this is a new Crash game. Let's talk about it. I didn't even have time this week. So that's another thing that I'm really looking forward to play because I've heard a lot of really good things about it and that it's hard. So
it'll go into the pile and it'll sit there for years when you finally get around to it. I think we all have a backlog at times, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to playing through that. So
awesome. Is it a remake?
No, this is the technically fourth iteration, of Crash.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Actually, yeah, I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about it and said it was really good. It was fun. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about it.
I should have played it by next time. And if not, yell at me, please, because this is a game I do want to play.
Right.
Make time for it,
Yeah.
I haven't really been playing much either, but I did fire up Pikmin on the GameCube actually, and I never really gave it a shot back in the day when it first came out. I remember owning it and just like it was too much dialogue, I think. Playing it as a kid, I never wanted to read it because every day that goes by, you like learn new things and you write in your diary about the Pikmin and stuff. And now it's like setting in as an adult. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Like, I don't need all this dialogue because I know what I'm doing because it's a video game and I've played enough of them. But it's actually computing in my head enough where I'm like, this is fun. And one thing that I noticed right away, which I don't know if I've read this anywhere or if anyone's like spoke on it, but I'm a huge Earthbound fan. And in the pause menu, it really sounds like an Earthbound tune going on. And I'm like, this is really cool. Like, and that drew me in too, just playing that. So I'm only on like day 4 or 5. I'm playing on the kiosk and
that's cool.
Yeah, really enjoying it. I just got Wave Birds to play on the kiosk, so I don't have to stand so close to it because damn, those controller arms are way too short. And like being like nose to the TV, it's just like, nah, this is not fun. So Wave Birds are definitely key for it. But then besides that, what's that?
No, nothing. I didn't want to cut you off. I was just going to touch base on the Pikmin while you're on it, just because I looked at it a million times, never took the plunge either. And I think did they both come out on Wii U, like remastered, or one of them? Or two
the
of them?
Third one definitely did.
They did a Wii remaster of the first Pikmin.
You're right. So I grabbed the one on Wii U to try it because I was intrigued. Still kind of like how you're with the new Crash. It's still sitting there and I probably had it since January, but I know they're doing the new release for the Switch. So I kind of wanted to give it a fair shot, but it's an intriguing game. Like from all the gameplay, I've just never played it. So I'm kind of in your camp. I'd love to give it a whirl.
Yeah, it's fun. It's relaxing. It's not like too crazy. It's a day and night cycle. So you have to like finish everything by the end of the day and get all your Pikmin back to the ship. But it's not like you're rushing to do stuff. It's very small maps, at least in the first one, where it's just like, all right, let me get all this done. I have, it's not like a timer, but the sun is the timer. So you like see it like in its cycle and you're like, all right, well, there's like 3 more cycles left. Let me start walking back to my ship and honking my horn so that the Pikmin follow me. And then you just press the pause menu, press start, and you say, I'm done with the day. And then it shows all the Pikmin going into their spaceship. You go into your spaceship, and then it pretty much tells you what you learned about that day.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, it's refreshing. It's nice and it's relaxing. It's not stressful at all.
Yeah. And I think I cut you off because you were saying you're diving back into another game too.
Yeah. So like Kelly's playing Donkey Kong Country at night. I've also been playing a game that I absolutely love, which is Ori and the Blind Forest, which I just beat like last year, but I felt like playing it again. And damn, it's still so good. Have you ever played that game, Brock?
No, and honestly, I might have. If you posted it on your story, I might have seen it, but no, I've never played it.
Yeah, it's very good. Well done game. It just controls so well, which I absolutely love when it comes to a platformer.
Now you're saying Donkey Kong, Kelly, like that's the original for Super Nintendo?
Yeah, they have it. So it's on the Switch Online.
Yep.
So I've been playing 1 and 2 because they just put 2 on there recently, like in bed before I go to bed on my Switch in handheld mode, because it's just.
What do you like better, 1 or 2?
It's really hard for me to decide, but I think I have to go with 1. It's like such a toss up because when I was a kid, I had the Game Boy Color port of Donkey Kong Country, and then I had Donkey Kong Land 2, which is essentially a Game Boy port of Donkey Kong Country 2, but just like a little different. So I essentially had both of these games, and I was just like playing them all the time growing up. So I think 1 is my favorite, but 2 is like a very close second.
See, what you'll find with me, and I'm sure, like, I guess it's my time to kind of talk about games I play everything easy that I can, and not that Donkey Kong is easy, but Donkey Kong 2, you get to be Dixie and can fly halfway across the screen. For me, that was always like, hey, if it's Super Mario Brothers 2, I'm Princess. It's just how it goes, because I can't, handle Mario slipping off things and Luigi slipping off things. So yeah, I was just curious because as soon as Dixie came in, it was kind of a game changer for me. But
she's clutch.
I go back to the original when the stuff came out, right? So I think I've got a few years on you guys. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you do. I'm 32.
No, yeah, you're kids.
Yeah. And Kelly's younger than me, so yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah, no. Yeah. So for me, I got the trilogy. I was really excited to go through Mario 64. I just did a post on it because it was a really impactful game for me as a kid. It was the one when, we first saw what the N64 was capable of, and you saw Mario kind of in a 3D space. It just blew my mind. So, now having a Pro controller and going through that again, it was really a fun experience. I've been playing, being 37, so a few years older, when I play games, I usually have a buddy sitting on the couch with me, and I know gaming's kind of gone away from that in a lot of ways, but we've been playing Sunshine quite a bit. So I played through it a little bit as a kid, never got through it to full completion of the 120 Shine stars. So I got a buddy that comes over once a week. We try and just grind through that one. And I know it's not crazy hard, but some of those 100 coins can be. And it's
gosh. It's one of the hardest Mario games, I feel like.
Well, the control doesn't help you, but honestly, I like the games that are kind of simple. I feel like, with work, and we all have busy lives, but I solve problems all day. So when I play games at night, I play fluff. That's what I do.
Yeah,
that's fair.
For the most part. But yeah, not that we don't like a good challenge, but yeah, beating Mario 64 with 120 stars and going through that again was a trip. And I know a lot of people are saying, hey, it wasn't, remastered the same. You know what? I couldn't tell you the difference. I just had so much fun playing it. So
I have a question with this new one. Can you control the camera with the right joystick?
No, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I don't have it in my hand. I just played the thing for like a few weeks to get this done, and now I can't tell you. I think it might be the trigger, and someone can fact check that, but I think it might be the trigger. It's the camera did not age well. Like, you get stuck in a lot of ways. To finish TikTok clocks, which, wasn't crazy hard, because you can, spoiler alert for those that don't know, but you can basically stop the turning bits inside the clock by going in at a certain time.
I didn't know that.
Well, you need to know that if you're going to get like the 8 red coins and stuff.
Yeah.
But I got stuck in a few places and literally would be a few coins away from 100 coins and fall to my death. So it was, the camera was not very forgiving. That's for sure.
Okay. But, so it probably doesn't work on the right joystick then.
I honestly can't remember. I think I was triggering it. I think I was just triggering it with the right trigger to get the camera spun around. But no, a lot of people have had a few gripes about it. I'm just like living my best life playing that. So it was a lot of fun to beat. And yeah, I don't know if I'll play Galaxy. I might. I mean, I don't really want to dust off the Wii remote to play it again, so I might try it out. But yeah, we're trying to get through Sunshine now, and it's been tough. It's been we've spent some time on 100 coin levels, that's for sure.
Yeah, I just had trouble playing the story mode, honestly, going through that. It's one of the Mario games I haven't beaten. With Sunshine, is the camera inverted still?
Meaning?
So on the GameCube, if you looked up, you would actually, if you click up, it would look down.
They didn't change the controls. Like, they didn't change the controls for. Are you talking about when he's using the water pack? And I don't even know what it's called. I know it has a name. Flood, I think it is.
Flood. Yeah.
No, that's still as painful as ever, and that's why I think there's a lot of gripes around the game, and no long jump, right? So the thing you're used to from Mario, it feels like the spiritual successor to Mario 64 to me, but it doesn't. He doesn't have some of the same tricks, but I like the camera in it better. Like, you can pan out, like Mario could look like a speck on the screen almost, right? You can really pan out in that game. But the control's not as tight. And when you got to just do these gimmicky things with the flood, I mean, it can be a bit painful, but yeah, but I've been playing that. And I mean, literally, like, for my time to play games, you can see, like, you know, what we talked about being a collector, which we'll get into. You know, it's about time when I play games, it's like I set aside time probably a couple times a week, and I play stuff that either everybody wants to play. We play a ton of Mario Party in my house because my sister absolutely goes nuts for the game, and her stepson has a Switch and they play Mario Party all the time. So she comes over, takes over my system, and we're playing Mario Party most of the time. But yeah,
such a good game.
It's been a lot of fun. And I mean, hey, like, anyone can jump into the new Mario Party as well. I got the other ones for N64, but I can't break my controllers to play it.
Yeah, don't do it.
We'll never. So yeah.
Well, awesome. Let's get into the interview with you. Brock, you're AKA the man with the million Marios. For the people that don't know you or follow you yet, you are a connoisseur of all things Nintendo and Mario. I personally feel like you have one of the dopest rooms I have ever seen. Yeah, man. Is your whole collection contained to that one room that you post pics of on IG, or does it spread out to the rest of your house?
So great. Actually, a really good question. So this room, actually, like, to give you a bit of an idea, it actually expanded. We did a house renovation a few years ago where we redid our upstairs and ended up redoing the downstairs too.
Oh,
and
nice.
My wife, being gracious, said you can expand the room a little bit. So it used to be a little bit smaller than this. Yeah, I got to get a little bit of extra space that she's always trying to claw back, and she never forgets to remind me that she gave me this room. But
I bet.
I actually, outside of it, the funny thing is I have another room that has a lot of other garage sale finds, swag, like a huge VHS collection. I have a lot, like every Nintendo system outside of this room, because if you ever look at pictures in this room, I don't even have a console or a TV in here. It's kind of turned into more of a museum.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
So I have all my modded systems that are on, and if I ever post a story of a gameplay, you'll see probably like a big 55-inch TV and then like a 43-inch TV that are kind of stacked on top of each other. And I just have my FrameMeister hooked up to that, and everything's modded, and I just play my games that way.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, the collection, yeah, like I would say a lot of it has changed too, which I'm sure you have questions about, but it's not fully contained to this room, and it kind of creeps outside of these doors every once in a while, and she's kind of using a broomstick to push it back in. But yeah, it definitely, most of it and most of the Mario swag is contained within this room for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely like a mini museum.
It's kind of happened organically just over years of, we'll get into it, but just trading and kind of finding what I kind of wanted the room to be, and it kind of took on a momentum of its own, over the years. So
yeah, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it just looks like a place that I just want to like sit and just chill out for like a couple hours and then get back to the world.
Yeah,
right.
It's kind of been zen-like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if somebody was like, hey, you should go meditate, or you should learn how to meditate, I'd be like, BRB, going to the Nintendo room. Just get my Mario Zen on.
Right.
So what was your first Nintendo memory?
It's funny. And I think, when all of us kind of have like a collection or something that clearly means something to you, and the way we display it, like Bo with all his kiosk. And I got a few questions for you at the end of this all, but
sure.
I remember going to a friend's house and him playing Super Mario 1. So this is like 88. Mm-hmm. So I remember seeing it, and I never had an original Nintendo back in the day. It kind of just missed me there. But I remember him running across the screen, not really getting what it was, asking my parents, and I think they knew at the time, like, hey, we'll figure out something. And I think that Christmas was probably when I got the original Game Boy, but Game Boy is what I played a lot of. But I do remember Super Mario Brothers 1, which is probably the most boring answer in the world, because I'm sure everyone says that that's of my vintage, but that's the one that I remember them just running, like, on the old tube TV, hooked up. I don't think you had to blow in the cart back then. I think it just worked. And that's what I remember. That's what I remember most.
When it was new, it definitely worked right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. So
what is your favorite Nintendo game?
So I remember getting babysat for years. This is probably this is definitely Super Nintendo era. It's Link to the Past. I remember watching my uncle, and he was like in the Dark World, and he had like done so much and was almost done the game. And he just like, well, what you have to do is basically get all the pendants, and then you go to it blew my mind that he like had kind of traversed this long, run. Now it's almost like blindfolded. I can run through that game.
Right.
But Link to the Past, really close second would be probably Turtles in Time. Yeah. And I mean, but the replay value I'd say that I play a lot is Super Castlevania 4.
Okay.
Like, probably the most replay value to just drop in and play through that, especially at this time of year.
Is that for Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
Okay. That's one that I don't have. Man, I remember playing Link to the Past for the first time and being like, oh, wow, I beat the game. And then I was like, nope, I did not beat the game. I'm in the Dark World. Like, what is going on? Like, there's so much more game.
Oh, I know. And you get stuck. And I mean, I just played, actually I played last summer. I think I played Link Between Worlds, which was really fun. And like, my wife reads, and so we go to the cottage on weekends in the summer, and I brought the 2DS that I had. And I'm like, I just kept calling, this is my book. This is my book, playing Link.
Oh, yeah.
It shows how much I read. But anyways, Link Between Worlds was kind of it felt like a spiritual successor with a couple extra interesting ideas. But yeah, no, Link to the Past was the one that kind of, it's number one. It's just number one for me. And there's a top 10 that could change. Super Nintendo was kind of the reason I started collecting everything. And that's obviously changed, but it was the Super Nintendo, where I could pull 25 games that are almost like Desert Island. And I don't know if anything else gets into that realm. So,
right. I agree with that completely.
I feel like a lot of people right now are saying things like very similar and I think it's just because of the group of people who are collecting right now. And it like goes off earlier when you were like, oh, well, I'm sure a lot of people are saying the same answer for their first Nintendo memory is watching somebody playing Mario. But I think Super Nintendo is just such a quality system, and it shows because now so many people are like, well, this is what I grew up and it still holds up to this day, and I want to collect for that. And it's I think it's awesome. It's just like a super wholesome system.
That's a great way of saying it. So, and even funnier than that is when I was 10, I had a Sega Genesis, and I didn't have a Super Nintendo, but my stepbrother had a Super Nintendo who would take it back and forth from his dad's house and bring it back on the weekends. And you wonder if that's what kind of created the whole thing, right? Like got the whole thing started. So not that Sega has a special place in my heart. Do I own much Sega now? Not really, but it definitely, that was, I remember my 10 games, and Sega definitely, like I had Ghostbusters on Sega, like originally. And that was like one of those games that kicked my ass for years and finally beat it. I don't know, I think it was a year ago this time, I finally beat Ghostbusters on like my last hit. And Genesis is definitely there, but what I think you'll find is like if you really want to collect and go after something that's going to be impactful, you have to kind of pick and choose what you want to do, because you could have a ton of nothing, like, and not that good games are nothing. Like if you want to have your room lined to the walls with games, that's great. Like that's your deal. But I had, 2,500 games at one point. I'm probably down to like 500 or 400 if you actually look at what's actually in here. But it was like trading to find the next great piece or something, right? That's how I did it. So I tried to kind of zone in on one thing. It turned out to be a lot of Mario swag, but yeah, which is evident. But I just found like if you're gonna have a ton of great games, that's great, and if that's what you want to do is have that physical media, that's amazing. I just was like, you know what, if I can trade these 10 loose games for a CIB of something really great, I'll do that. And if I can trade 10 of these great CIBs for a sign, I'll do that. So that's where it went for me.
Awesome. Well, let's get into the Mario. Like, let's dig into the Mario. What was the very first Mario collectible you had?
Oh man, I don't even know, because I've been doing this probably pretty hard for 12 years. So I started collecting Super Nintendo, like just be like, find a $5 game, like pay $5 for a game. I go, wow, this was a $20 game I got for $5. That started the whole collecting drive to try and play games you used to have as a kid or heard about or never tried, because 12 years ago, you couldn't just get everything on, an SD card and play everything. You had to get the actual cart to say I gave it a try, which was kind of unfortunate how, technology has kind of reduced collecting to, you could have everything on one SD card, right? So I think I'm just looking around here because it's a big room, right? I'm actually sitting in here because I knew there'd be questions like this. Mario collectible I had first, man. One of the first things I had was that Super Mario Bros. The Translate sign that I've lit up, the McDonald's Translate sign.
Okay.
So I got a really so Translate, McDonald's would put them up as like the Happy Meal toys. So they're kind of like, they light up, you'd put them in a light box, and basically I think I got that for $5 or something at a flea market. Like we have flea markets here. I don't think they could rival some of the ones I've been to in the States, but we definitely have some flea markets and some kind of antique shows. So you can find gems depending on what it is. But that Super Mario Translate sign was one of the first things I think I found for $5 or $6, something like that. Canadian too, so think about how cheap that is to you guys.
Yeah, so
sounds like a steal.
Yeah, it was basically free.
Is that Translate like what you would drive up to in the drive up?
Exactly.
Okay, and
right.
then you see what toys are being displayed and stuff.
So the picture, and it'd probably go back a bit because I went in and got I eventually got all the Mario hanging signs that they would have had in the Mario. I have the display case and I have all the boxes. There's a placemat that I'm still waiting to try and track down a good one for a decent price. But the Super Mario Translate sign actually has the little wrench on it too that says this week, and it points to the Koopa Troopa. So it was like, that was the toy that they were featuring that week. It was kind of a neat thing. So when you'd roll through and the kid would see, what the Happy Meal toy was, this was the Translate sign that would have been in the McDonald's window.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And this is the Canadian one. And I think it's different because I think there's yellow ones in the States. This one's blue. So
you got to love that, how depending on the region, things look completely different.
Yeah. And the funny thing is too, because you think of populations alone, well, the States have 10 times the amount of people that Canada has, right? So we get some similar things here, but then I also find, there's people that were interested in the hobby, but some of our World and Nintendo cabinets, there's a lot of them in Southern Ontario. That's, I found one through a friend and traded some things that were hard to trade, but I got a World and Nintendo cabinet, and, there's a local store. I think he had 5 or 6. So,
wow.
Yeah, there's some stuff around, right? It's just a matter of who you know and networking and being friends with people, right? You meet good people and they know what you're into, and
exactly
they kind of guide you that way. But yeah, so the Translate sign was probably one of the first.
So you might have answered this, but are you still actively collecting video games, or are you more so you moved on to memorabilia?
So I'll still pick up video games. I mean, you just saw, I don't know if you looked at my post recently where I just got a Mario statue, one of those 400 Mario statues that were made, I think cool. I don't know what neck of the woods you guys are in. Where do you guys live?
Pennsylvania, so right below New York.
Yeah, okay. I think they're in Wisconsin. I'm going to get that wrong. Anyways, I think that's where they were made. I traded a lot of good video games to get it, like stuff that hurt. Like,
and this is like the big Mario statue for anyone that's listening, like 3 feet tall or something.
Yeah, he's about 3 feet tall, and there was one. There's a whole history, actually. When I went to look up some information when I made the post, because I'd seen these forever. I mean, there's a couple in some local game stores. There's a guy who's got one of the most legendary collections I've ever seen, Super NES Man on Instagram. Oh, yeah. I think everyone knows Dennis, or is it Denny? I don't even know. Dennis,
yeah. He owns Wata Games.
So he's got one of these guys, and I think he's got one painted as a Luigi. Like, so they're pretty hard to come by. But yeah, like, I mean, I've traded some really good games along the way, like stuff that, like, saying I had a Super Nintendo collection. At one point I had about 450 CIB Super Nintendo.
Wow.
So I'm down to probably, let's say 80. And I mean, I traded some good stuff. And one of those things which kind of broke my heart, Bo, is what you mentioned, is I actually traded a CIB Earthbound towards this guy. So as much as that hurt, one of my favorite games, honestly, one of my favorite games. But when you want to get something big, you got to give something big at times. And my whole mentality was, you know, an impactful sign or an impactful statue like him is going to be better than even a big box in the cabinet. Right. So
much better. That's why I don't have a big box Earthbound, because I'm not willing to spend, you know, $600, $700 on cardboard. It's just not worth it to me.
And mine even had the $29 price tag on it. It was like, yeah. So, I mean, I've traded some really good games along the way. I do actively buy. I do buy more newer titles now, and any boxed Mario game I don't have even a variant. I'm not like, there's a guy who's a really great friend, and I should really mention him. His name's Joel Kenny, and he goes by JM Kenny LZ on Instagram. One of the coolest dudes I've ever met. Hooked me up with people, connected me with people. He brought me my Mario trash can at one point, hooked me up with, you know, little signs, things of that nature.
I follow him.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, he likes wrestling and Mountain Dew, right? Or Monster.
Exactly. So
yeah.
No, exactly. And I completely lost my train of thought because I was taking a sip of this delicious Canadian whiskey. But what was I saying? I guess
he's helped you out on a lot of things, and you wanted to shout him out.
I've shouted him out regardless, but there was some point I was just trying to make.
Earthbound, trading for a statue.
God, I'm never going to be able to get back there, dude.
Don't worry about it.
We're good. Joel, I love you. Wherever you are, I love you. Anyways.
Yeah, take another sip of whiskey.
Yeah, no, all I'm saying is I've traded a lot of good titles. Joel collects all the variants of Mario 3, right? So, and I don't go down that route, quite honestly, but like, I'll have Super Mario World CIB Player's Choice and Black Box, Super Mario All-Stars Player's Choice and Black Box. Like, if I can find those, I got both Mario Paint big boxes, the Player's Choice and Black Box. So if I see a Mario box game, I usually pick it up. There are games I want. I typically buy Nintendo mascot stuff because, like I said, I limit myself to what I'm going to like want to play. Donkey Kongs are in there, you know, Zelda games are in there. Kirby, like games that, you know, are typically Nintendo mascots, and then the rest goes to like, you know, a Mario scoreboard that's $200 Canadian, and you're going, are you insane? Why'd you buy
that? That's awesome. So do you have an educated guess on how many Marios you think you have?
Oh God. These are great questions. Good. It's honestly like sometimes
start counting right now.
Yeah, I know.
We'll be here all night.
Couple hundred with his face on it. Couple hundred for sure, maybe more.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was thinking at least 1,000.
Yeah,
you might be right. Honestly,
the man of 1,000 Marios.
Like it's bags, it's shampoo. I'm just looking at my stuff. Shampoo bottles. A million duffel bags, game cases. I got two of the Dixie cup holders. Yeah, like it's cans. I got all the cans like with Mario on them. Yeah, it's just I did a lot of, I mean, I feel like I'm going on and talking too much, guys. Sorry about that. But
I mean, this is what the podcast is about. Is
right.
Talking about your collection. So
what I used to do, and I had a great job, and I've kind of been in sales for a long time, and typically had a lot of freedom. So what I would do, I had, being 45 minutes from the border, for years, I would just find great deals on a Mario clock or a shampoo bottle or whatever. And, I would basically find Mario wall trim or a lunch box or something. And I would ship to my box in just across the border in Niagara Falls, New York, take my mother and my mother-in-law on a Saturday, let them shop, go open all my stuff. Whatever I didn't keep for myself, I would sell at a show. And that's how I really found a lot of stuff. So a lot of this stuff was your guys' stuff, and I just came and took it.
I mean, that's awesome.
But the border's closed. So, I mean, yeah. When the border's back open, though, Kelly, you can definitely come over and hang out in my Mario room.
Yeah, I'm down. I've never been to Canada, and it seems, I don't know, that seems to me like really stupid because we're not that far.
We're not that far. It's funny. We're similar in a lot of ways. I mean, obviously there's some differences, but, I've been to the States a lot. I mean, I've probably gone, if you've never been to Canada, I go to the States quite a bit when I'm able to. I've been to a lot of the major cities in the United States and done a lot of game hunting in a lot of those states too. But it's Southern Ontario is it's close to a U.S. kind of metropolis as you could see kind of the Toronto area and stuff. We're just, I guess, maybe, I don't know, maybe a little more polite, even though every American I've ever met has been super polite. But yeah, no, it's we get cold weather probably like you do, Bo, but I mean, we also have nice summers, right?
Yeah. Sounds about us. Yeah.
That's true.
But Pennsylvania is amazing. And what, no tax down there? How does that all work?
No, you're thinking of a different state. We definitely have a tax. Yeah.
We're not taxed on necessities. So
yeah, like clothing
and groceries.
We're taxing all that. Yeah. But anyways, we're talking video games and drinks. How's your drinks going, by the way?
The drink is good. I haven't really been sipping on it that much because of how sour it is, but that's probably a blessing, honestly, because usually I get drunk by the end of the podcast. And Kelly has to hold down the fort.
I gotta listen to more of these for sure.
Some of them aren't good. So yeah, Nintendo made some weird things that they stamped Mario's face on. What do you think is the strangest thing that Nintendo has made? Okay,
I'm just looking. Like what I've.
I mean, shampoo bottles. That's
shampoo
crazy.
Bottles, yeah.
I have an electrical toothbrush that a buddy of mine gave to me, which
New
I'm
or
like,
old?
It's from 2005.
Oh, so he looks like the N64 Mario on there.
Yeah, it's blue. It's like touch me. It's still in the packaging, so it's like touch me, and it's like rubber feeling.
Well, I'm looking at something I got from Portugal because I kind of scout things like that too, and if shipping doesn't go crazy, like there's a lot of stuff from Japan. And a lot of stuff from I got stuff from the UK here. And I mean, I kind of just keep an eye open for whatever's kind of interests me. One is a car air freshener. I think I posted it 4 or 5 months ago with some of those Hot Wheel Marios that you kind of keep popping up at your local, I guess you guys have what, GameStop? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So pop up at GameStop. You don't have Toys R Us anymore. We still have Toys R Us.
Oh, do you?
Wow. We still have Toys R Us. Still, they're taking on a lot of water, but we have Toys R Us. But yeah, it's like a deodorant with Mario with a checker flag. That's a weird one. I have a Jelly Pop set of these like lollipop things with Mario, and like they've never been obviously touched. There's 3 Yoshi, 3 Mario, 3 Zelda, 3 Donkey Kong. This is from, when is this from? 96, 97. I don't think you want one now. Oh, I got the answer for you.
Okay.
Shower head. The shower head.
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
That's the wildest thing.
It's called Shower Power.
A shower head.
Yeah, look it up. It's
all right.
It's wild.
I might have posted it a year ago. I might have posted one a year ago or so when I got them, but it's weird. This one was new, but it's literally Mario standing on Luigi and holding the shower head, and it says it has built-in scald protection. So I don't know if I trust it.
I saw one of those like locally. Oh God, it probably has been like 4 years, and it was like on probably like OfferUp or something. And I wanted to buy it because it was like new in the box, and the guy wanted like $40 for it, and I was like, that seems pretty fair because that's ridiculous.
So odd, right?
Yeah, and he like never got back. Like he just like never logged into his account or like never saw the message. So I was really mad because I really wanted to get a Mario and Luigi little shower head.
This is super weird.
They come around here. You looking at it?
Yeah, it says at the bottom, it says keeps kids in hot water safely. like what the hell?
Yeah, really strange stuff. I mean, honestly, there's stuff that I've definitely won on in this room. Like definitely got a steal of a deal because it was the right place, right time, or knowing somebody or what have you. And then there's things I paid up for that were a dumb buy. And I mean, I might have paid too much for that. I got a beach ball from Japan that I thought was bigger, and it came and it was pretty small. And I think I paid $100 US for it. So yeah, it was one of those. But you know what? I always use my collection. Like you can like, first of all, it was fun money for the longest time. We just had our first little guy. He's 1.5 years now. So he's been around. So that when you're asking about chasing and whatever, it's definitely changed. Yeah. But we were both working. This was my hobby. We traveled a little bit, every year, but the hobby was just kind of finding Mario oddities and trading for them and meeting people and doing shows. So I just let the collection be fluid. I would just find things that I really liked, I wanted to put on the shelf. Every other thing that came in, I would just, help people out, do shows, do bro prices. And that's kind of how it used to go.
Exactly. We just had our last episode, Kelly and I were talking about buying and selling video games and like when's the best time to sell. But like pretty much it was like, we enjoyed the act of collecting and we're able to do that with fun money from selling video games.
Exactly.
Like, it just goes right back into the pot to keep collecting. And, even if you're just upgrading that box, like you're upgrading that box and making money from it,
How many games would you say are in your collection? Because Bo, and this is like, I don't want to derail your plan for questions, but when I see your collection, I'm really impressed with the kiosks, man. I think that's one of the most fun rooms. The fact that you can go in, fire up anything.
Yeah, it is a fun room.
Do you have a physical collection that I don't see too often?
Yeah, I do. It's small though. Like I have small shelves and it's a mixture of everything. Like probably for each system, like 20 games, 20 to 30 games. I don't have any complete sets or anything like that, nor am I really trying to go for any. Like Wii U 2 weeks ago I was like, I'm going for a complete set for Wii U, but that sort of slowed down just because I'm getting to the games where I'm just like, I don't want these games. Like,
no, I hear you.
Like, why am I buying these just to have a full set? So if I find them in the wild once stores like open back up and like flea markets and all that, and I can go hunting while they're still cheap, I'll pick them up then. But right now I'm not like trying to go on eBay to get the next Barbie game,
It's nuts, right? I mean, like you look at someone like Retro Thunder, who's like a legend in his own right. Like, I mean, that guy, doesn't he play like Battletoads backwards, blindfolded upside down or something? Like
something stuff. Ridiculous. At least blindfolded for sure. Yeah.
Oh my God, on sounds and feel like insane. But he had that Wii collection. You just look at something like that and you're like, wow. So I mean, I had a mind when I had 600 and a quarter loose Super Nintendo games to go for it. Didn't have Agani. Didn't have like some of the, and then you start talking about competition cards and like it'll make your brain bleed. So I pulled the plug on that only because of that. And I mean, like I said, I let some good stuff go for this statue Mario, and I've definitely traded some other stuff. I just got a World of Nintendo sign, the second globe, not my Mario globe on the wall, but the one that's looks just like the planet. And it's kind of gold, kind of patina on it. I traded some good stuff towards that, right? So I let the collection kind of be fluid. It's mostly now Mario and all the shells, but I had a really extensive Ghostbuster and Ninja Turtle collection. I had a really big Ninja Turtle collection at one point. And just kind of, it was fun to chase. And, you'd find I go to a flea market, let's say in Clarence, New York, and there'd be like a turtle copter, mint in the box. I'm telling you, mint in the box. And the guy goes, $5. And you're like shaking, taking $5 out of your pocket. You're shaking. You're like, are you serious? Because it's just such a win. It's such a win.
Yeah.
So, letting it go stunk in a way. But you know what? Now when I go to any kind of flea market, antique show, whatever, if I see Ninja Turtles, I go, that's so cool. And I walk right past it. Right.
Good.
Like I've exercised that demon. Right. So
the Ninja Turtle demon.
Yeah.
Good for you though. Like, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people getting into the hobby now that I see just get everything that, every video game that is at Goodwill. And to me, it's like at least my Goodwill, it's, video games are $3 to $4 a piece.
Good for you.
And I'm like, you don't need those sports titles. Like, you're losing money by spending that,
Well, we're picked over here. We've been picked over like that for a long time. I can't remember. So we have a chain called Value Village, at least in Ontario. I don't know if it goes across Canada.
No.
And I cannot find, if you find a game, it'll be a PlayStation 2 game for $6.99 Canadian, and it won't be anything like you want. So I don't run into steals like that so much. Yes, I get lucky. Like I posted a few weeks back that I found a Mario phone that's like from the Nintendo 64 area. That's not him on the Mario Kart phone. It's him actually holding the phone and standing up. That was a find for, I think it was 65 Canadian. I think I paid for it. Like, and so, to find that at an antique show, you're just like, you're sun-kissed that day, right? So things are picked over. I mean, the whole world has been, because it's been retro chasing now. Like, we have to be talking 10 years now, pretty hard, right? So
absolutely.
The stories at Game Chasers, I don't know if you guys watch those guys, but like finding little Samsons for $5, like that doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I have a friend that works at GameStop, and GameStop doesn't take all the retro consoles. So when people come in and they're trying to, sell a PS2, my buddy, if he's working, he's like, let me give you my buddy's number. So I get a lot of people calling me.
That is a great lead to have, man. That is a great relationship to have.
Absolutely.
These guys scrap. Like, I'll see a Mario banner and I'll be like, sorry, we got to throw them out. And like with me, it's when you're in sales and stuff, and not to go on about it, but you're used to networking and meeting people and going, hey, you like this? I like this. This is what we do. And some people will reach out and say, hey, I got a standee. Like, there's a great shop. What is their name? Do you guys mind if I pull up my phone here for a second? I'm just forgetting it, even though I love the guy. I think they're called Retro. I want to give them a shout out properly. Watch me not be able to do it now. No, not giving him credit. Sorry. We all got a few of those.
Oh yeah.
No, I have a story about my big Mario clock, which I just had someone message me on, one of the, not the 6-inch, but the one with Mario 2, and he's doing the piece, and it was like brand new in the box. And I had a game store locally that had one, and I would go in there and go, man, I just drool over this thing every time I see it. He goes, well, you'll never find another one. There's no amount of money I'd ever take. And I found one new in the box. So it was like one of those days. But anyways,
did you walk by the store and like knock on the window, being like, hey,
I wouldn't go that
motherfucker?
way. You know what? Honestly, I wouldn't go that way, and it's all well and good. I just, it's one of those things, like, I think in every way when you're trying to do something well, and I feel like, I collected, right? Like, I went out and turned this collection into what it is. If it wasn't here, if it was all gone tomorrow, I wouldn't start over. You know what I mean? It was just something that took on momentum. But I try and treat people like, hey, that's all good, positivity, and like literally like thank people 8 times for, what they're willing to trade with me and what they're willing to deal with me. People call me and go, I got a Mario stocking from 1990. I go, thank you for thinking of me. It's so weird. Like, as a 37-year-old man, I go, thank you for the stocking. But like the idea that people think of you because they think your collection and it would look good in it. I mean, you got to just treat everyone good, even the people that kind of snub you on something, because there's too much. Like, it's funny. We're basically glorified nerds, let's be honest. And it's there's too much elitism in this, when it's like, there's times when everybody's life where you're like, hey, you just want to sit at the table with these people and them to accept you. That's why we do this stuff. Right. So,
yeah. And honestly, like on the last episode, I talked about this briefly too, but like, collecting's not a hard thing to do. It's networking, and it's talking to people, and it's having money for it. Like, it's not like you're a sports star or anything like that where you're training hard. It's just being a good person and talking and having money in the bank.
And unfortunately there is dough involved. Like it's a tough thing to get into because like the only reason I could turn this collection into what it is now is by bankrolling it when it was cheaper, because I couldn't do it now. Like you couldn't start now and buy box copies of things. Like I traded within this big trade. It's funny. I just reached out to my buddy who's a fantastic person. He was one of the guys that he's a big buy and seller here. And he was in this room this year with another guy that owns a pretty significant game store, collectible store in Toronto, and they're like, how much for the room, right? They're going to buy the room out. And it was like, and it's like, you're like, dude, I'm not there mentally, but here, buy all the Ninja Turtle stuff. That's great. And then they bought some really good video game stuff that, was part of it. But I reached out to him because just in that recent trade, I traded him Snowboard Kids, right? So Snowboard Kids went into it with the box, and that's a game for N64 I friggin' love. People hate it, but there's something about that game. I like it almost probably better than Mario 64.
Yeah, I had both 1 and 2 cartridges, and it was hard for me to sell them just because they're Atlas games, and I love Atlas.
Great company for sure, right? So I'm like, I just want to play this game. So I go to eBay. I go, I shouldn't have sold them that. I just go to eBay, just like, I'll just get that cart back, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it like $70 US. I go, what are we talking about here? Snowboard Kids? Like that blows me away, which it shouldn't, but I'm actually shocked the way prices continue to go, if that makes any sense. Because like I'll walk by Super Nintendo cabinets now, and there's nothing that, even if I see an ActRaiser, which I don't have in my collection now, but I like it, but I'm like, I'm not paying 120 Canadian for. So to you guys, that's 80, 75 US. Like he's not doing it. It's all good. I love the game and I'll remember it, but it's hard for me to pull that trigger. So I couldn't have done this. I couldn't do this now. It's the last few years where like literally you're flipping good for good. That's what happened. So
absolutely. And I think you're doing it the right way. Like, you did video games when they were cheap, and now you're doing the stuff that people aren't necessarily collecting for right now. Like you got to be one step ahead of everyone. Like, let me go with the old Mario stuff that, people like, but they don't have nostalgia for, like video games.
The only thing that I found with getting the swag is one piece can make a collection pop off, right? So you have like, say I had 200 NES games carts and they're all stacked on the shelf. They look great. And then you put like a Mario Z bag on top and a shampoo ball or like a Mario thermos on the bottom. You go, boom, there's a collection, just because the piece makes it pop, right? So that's kind of where I went with it. Cause like, it's funny, Mario threw his face on everything in 1989, but this shit's still hard to find, man. Like it's just hard to find. So you don't find it in the wild. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I want one person to be nostalgic for the Mario shower head, where they just have the tears of Mario and Luigi just pouring onto them as they take a lukewarm shower because they have skull protection.
Yeah, like they have like 3 bathrooms in their house, and each bathroom has a shower head in it.
I'd swap mine for that. 100%.
Yeah, I might buy one, honestly.
There's Mario Band-Aids, right? There's everything. Yeah. I'm looking at Mario cookie cutters right here. Plastic cookie cutters from 89. But anyways, but I digress.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite piece in your collection?
So is it okay if I tell a story with it?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. I know. I just don't know how this is going. I feel like I'm talking too much and I hate to just go on and on about it. But because most of the time if you talk to anybody else that's not in the retro world, that's your family, they don't give a shit. Like my wife could come in here just like, because we have a little cabinet in here for like a little bit of storage. So she goes in, gets a can of soup, will shake her head and walk out, right? But so I found so we have something called Kijiji. I don't know if you have Kijiji. It's like Craigslist.
No.
And there's this like really grainy picture of a sign, and this is going back. And I probably posted it 4 or 5 years ago when I was really getting into Instagram. And I'm like, is that a sign? Like it was weeks old. Like, I don't know how many, it was like 7, 8 weeks old. And it was literally 130, 140 kilometers from my house. So like 100 miles away. Right. So I'm like, geez, do you take a chance? So I reach out to the guy, I go, I just saw you had a sign. So I'm like, do you still have this sign? He's like, yeah, I still got some Nintendo signs and no prices on it or anything. He's like, I'm really fair on things. This is the gamble I'm taking, right? So my wife's works a full day. We have to drive through the heart of Toronto, basically on this thing called the 401, which is, it's not New York, it's not LA. Toronto traffic where you're up against Lake Ontario is nuts at rush hour, like crazy. Like,
really?
Oh my God. Like, because Toronto basically just has a couple exits out of the city, right? So she comes home from work. It might have even been Monday. Like, it was just such a bad deal for her. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy a sub or whatever we're going to do, but we're going to drive through the heart of the city and go to this like place. And hopefully we get I get this sign at the end of the day. I don't know what the price is. I don't know what it's going to look like anyways. We drive and literally leave at 5. We get there at 7:45 at night, 100 miles. So 2 hours and 45 minutes. And the guy had Donkey Kong arcades. He had signs. He had everything. Goes out. I'm just getting out of this. I'm more into like pinball now. He had the Super Mario World pinball.
Oh, so rare.
He goes, this is sold. There's a guy coming from Montreal. So Montreal is, I don't even know, but it's an 7-hour drive away. They're just coming up.
I would drive that far.
Yeah. It's just like not even a thought, right? I go, wow. So it's the one I'm talking about is my Globe with the World of Nintendo. It's got the banner wrapped around them, and
it's huge.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'm really interested in the sign. I don't know what you want. And I have, I probably had $400 or $500 on me or something. I ended up leaving with 2 signs. I left with that Globe and my Clover, the flower World and Nintendo. So I paid $250 Canadian each.
Wow.
So, and this is 5, 6, and honestly, still at the time, like that thing was sitting there for weeks. I went into other people's like gamers I know and collectors I know's territory, and they never even called the guy. So I bring this thing home, and it's honestly, I like my cabinets. I love the statue. The statue's up there now. Honestly, the statue is like a pretty big time to me, but that sign is like, that'd probably be the last thing on the wall unless it all goes, That World and Nintendo sign was a pretty big gem for me.
Well, when you're ready to sell it, I might come up to Canada to see you. Yeah.
Actually, it's funny. I had a guy, I was in Florida right before the whole pandemic nonsense. My parents actually had a place there, which they just sold, unfortunately. We were like 20 minutes away from Disney and Universal and blah, blah, blah. And my wife's parents go and stay in Madeira Beach for a month in February. So we were down there for a long time. I get messaged by a guy. He's like, I'll give you $1,500 US if you ever want to sell that sign. I'm like, if I ever come down here and I'm thinking about it, you're the guy, right? And then obviously we escaped the pandemic and crossed the border, and that was it. But it's that's the one that's pretty special. And I mean, now having the young guy, and like he kind of comes in here and plays now because he can kind of just tear things up without tearing up anything that's high and he's not gonna damage. But if he shows no interest in this stuff, it could change, right? The whole thing could change, right?
Yeah.
But that's
that sign is worth more than $1,500, just so you know.
It's gone nuts, and it's just plastic, right? So
is it plastic? I thought maybe it was metal.
No, it's plastic. On the back, It says World of Nintendo. It's all that stuff. I literally put in the back of the truck, and I looked at it, I go, it's cool, right? She goes, yeah, it's really cool. And at one point, I'd say 3 or 4 years ago, I almost traded it. I had a buddy who really wanted it, like high-end collector, and I was going for CIB, Super Nintendo, and he offered me Pocky and Rocky 2 CIB.
Ooh.
So you're like, that's a huge heavyweight, right? You're like, well, that's big time. And I literally think I had the screwdriver to the wall to take the screw out. My wife comes in and she literally said, even though it's a game and it's rare, could you get it? Another one? I'm like, yeah. She goes, where are you going to get another sign like that? I go, honestly, I put it down. I go, you're right. And that was
smart.
Like, she kept me with that one. And she goes, a game on the shelf for that? I'm like it was like, I just needed that sense of, but when you get trading and stuff, you get addicted to it. You want to bring home a kill every day. You know what I mean? Like you get that kind of, I found this in the wild today. It's like, you get that kind of addictive trait to like wanting to add to the thing, add to the monster. So
my wife and I just had that conversation because I'm trying to get rid of a lot of my stuff, like just like video games, essentially that I'm not playing, that I don't need, but I'm constantly buying lots too. So it's hard. Mm-hmm. But she sells on eBay as much as I do too. But I told her the other day, I have this amazing neon PS2 sign that Kelly sold to me for $50.
Wow.
But it's broken.
It's broken, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just been in the basement. And I told her, because I went to the basement, I go to the basement every day, but like I was looking at it the other day and I told my wife, I was like, something that I want to get done like ASAP is to get that neon sign fixed and hung up. Like, especially because people aren't blowing neon like they did back, 20, 30 years ago. Like, not that many people have that craft anymore. So I want to get it done before it can't be done anymore. And also, that sign is a sign that I'll keep way longer than any video game, because there's only a few thousand of those, where any of my video games there's at least 10,000 of,
You're right. They were mass produced, right? Even when they were like short, like, even when they weren't, when they were, let's say, sleepers, or they didn't sell like they thought they were kind of flops. There's still way more of those games than there are these signs.
Exactly.
Except for that I have the same exact sign in my house.
Yeah. Well, hers works.
Yeah, but you know what? And it's a gift, right? I got some small things in my collection. Like, literally, I don't have much NES. I have some NES on the top shelf. I have Mario NES, but someone gave me Bucky O'Hare, like my buddy who I've known for a long time. I just said, there's only a couple. This is when I was just collecting everything. Like, let's say 8-9 years ago. I'm like, I really want to play Bucky O'Hare. Guy goes, I think I have that game. I'm like, shut up. Right. Just whatever. He comes in one day, just tosses it across the couch to me. I'm like, what can I get? He goes, it's just, I don't want it. It's yours. Like, I'd never trade that, because that's in a little green neon Nintendo case in my cabinet, right? It's just there because that was a gift from a buddy, right? So there's things that you get given that, they mean something a little bit more. And I think that's a pretty special gift that you guys kind of shared, right? That's really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. J-Bam, right? Team One Up 'em.
Yeah, I do know him. Like, I've seen his stuff. I don't know if I follow him or he follows me. I don't know. I've seen his stuff. He seems like a really good dude. If I don't follow him, I'll go back and do it today.
He's an amazing guy. But last time I was at his house picking up one of these kiosks, is probably the Wii U or the Xbox. I forget.
And where is he?
He's in New York.
Oh, okay.
So he's like a 3.5 hour drive from me.
Yeah.
But last time I was there, he had like this whole table in his basement full of like duplicates, and he's like, take any game that you want here. And I'm like going through it, and I'm not like being an asshole in any sense. Like, I didn't know the prices for some of these games, but like a lot of them I just didn't really care for. And the one game that like stood out was Splatterhouse 3 CIB, and it's like super clean for the Sega Genesis. And I'm like, I love Splatterhouse 1. Like, do you want to get rid of this? And he's like, if, as long as you promise not to ever sell it, you can have it, man. Like, I love you. And I'm like, really, eh? And I'm like, okay, awesome. Like, thank you. Like, I appreciate it. Didn't think twice about it. And then I got home and I actually looked up the price. I'm like, I hit him up right away. I was like, Jay, you gave me a $300 fucking game.
Yeah, I need to do something for you.
Like, what the hell? He's like, bro, you gave me my World of Nintendo cabinet. Like because of that, like, I have the best like collection piece now. Like, this was my dream grail. And like, I traded that cabinet for the Dreamcast kiosk that he had,
which you didn't really lose on if you're talking dollars or cents, really, right?
No, I mean, I got the cabinet fairly cheap. I got for $400 on Craigslist.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people were like, oh, you're dumb. The World of Nintendo cabinet's so much rarer. It's worth more. And I'm like, I want something that's functional, not just a shelf piece that like I really can't display anywhere because it's too big and bulky.
Yeah. So that's pretty, like, good people, the OGs, I'd say, in the game that are just good people that you befriend, they like you, you're good. Like, those guys honestly don't get enough credit, right? So I got a guy named Val. He's actually on Instagram. I bet he hasn't posted in 6 months. He's Valtrex29. He honestly, like, half of the CIBs and stuff, like, I used to pick up stuff from the States box for him and stuff, but we were just buddies from way back. He's the one who hooked me up with my tall World of Nintendo cabinet and literally took a trade on games, because he's like, I'll sell the games. Like, and there were some good games, but like, he hooked me up with my little cardboard cutout win Nintendo prizes with Yoshi and Luigi on it from like a display of like a Pepsi display from the 90s. Like, it's crazy that this cardboard survived. Like, he hooked me up with so much over the year. And honestly, when the guy wanted to collect, like, he had the best stuff go through his hands. Like, he was a guy that was like legendary status because he'd buy good and sell good. So I remember I'm bringing stuff across the border, and it's like, we're crossing the border and they're saying anything to declare. I'm like, oh, just old used video games. And I said it, I don't know how many times I've said that. But literally, I have like a little Samson mint in the box, CIB. You're like, oh, wow. Like I have nothing here. Like we're just whatever. Yeah. And he had a complete Vectrix collection just because he wanted to. One summer, he just put this thing together. And he had the Mr. Boston clean sweep, the one that's like, maybe there's 6. I don't know. Like it's that uncommon. It was like a branding of, I think it was a liquor or something at a certain bar. So they put these Vectrexes in at these bars in Boston and put this Mr. Boston clean sweep in or whatever. And he had one. He just had one. Like just stuff that went through his hands was insane. But he literally, we were good buddies. I mean, he kind of got out of it a little bit because it's like once you see everything good that he would just buy and sell. And yeah, like I think he did well on it during the boom of Super Nintendo and stuff. But he had some really great stuff and like really just the connection was like one of the best things. Like he's just a great dude. So there's just people out there that don't post stuff, that don't say things, and they just you don't know what's behind their door. You know what I mean? Like there's crazy stuff. And I think J-Bomb, he's been great for the community, right? At least that's what I know of him.
Yeah, he's amazing for the community. Good guy.
There's one little standee I have, and it's like my favorite Mario is probably the Mario 2 with the turn up jumping, right? Like it's just the coolest Mario to me. And I don't know what it is. It was just probably one of my favorite Mario games, like literally one of my favorite, probably behind 64. And I don't know if Super Mario World's even on that level. Yeah, Super Mario World. But anyways, there's a game store called Super 1-Up Games locally to me in Hamilton here in Ontario. And if you saw this little standee, it just says Super Mario Brother 2, what does it say? The madness continues. It's probably like a 1.5 feet tall, a sunbeaten, like you wouldn't believe, like was in a game store for 20 years, right? Just sitting in the front window. And they had 2 locations, and I was always in there talking to Mark, who I really like, one of the greatest guys ever, like did great trades with me and like just great relationship. Like honestly, just one of the salt of the earth dude. And they were kind of consolidating into one store one day. And I'm just like standing there and he goes, yeah, we're closing up the store and blah, blah, blah. And he just picks up and walks it over and gives it to me. I go, I almost cried. Honestly, I almost broke down. Like, it was like one of those things. I'm like, are you serious, man? He goes, honestly, it'll look great in your games room. Like, are you serious? Like, I couldn't even handle it. So that's what I'm saying about good people, right?
Yeah.
I miss the shows because of this pandemic and everything going. I miss the shows of going to see people that literally what brought you together was, yeah, we like video games, but they're good people around, right? Like there's going to be all kinds that you meet, but yeah, it hasn't been the same since this kind of nonsense started, but yeah, there's some really good stories, and that's what this room kind of does for me.
I love it, man.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like you meet good people and you make good connections. And if honestly, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, really. And I know it sounds cheesy, but it's true. Like you meet good people.
Truly, that is what it's all about. I mean, I'm so grateful for Instagram because it's how I met Kelly 2 years ago. And now we have a podcast together.
Now I met Kelly.
Exactly.
But here's the thing, like literally, I always talk about social media because what's the majority of social media? Honestly, negativity. And I've seen a lot of stuff that you're like, oh, and I get roped into it. You get pulled into it. The best thing about social media was all the connections I made with people. Literally, it's hobby. It's going, hey, I like this. That's cool. Spread love. Literally, just the collecting community. And I don't care what it is, but let's say hobbyists. That's where you find people that are kind of like that, you know, identify with what you're doing. They like what you're doing. You like what they're doing. I honestly have met some of the most amazing people, and it would have never been possible without Instagram, honestly.
Yeah. It's been a blessing. As much as like I hate posting sometimes, like I find it like such a burden to post some days. I'm just like, I can't do this. But like you feel obligated because you haven't posted in a week.
See,
it's totally worth it.
Like, I get it, right? Like, I mean, I'm okay with anyone posting a video game. And honestly, I guess if you're going to post food or take pictures of yourself, that's something too. But like, I don't know, like we all are looking for some kind of, hey, look, do I fit into the community? Everyone goes, yeah. They say that with likes and comments and all this stuff. So I don't think you should feel it like an obligation. I literally sometimes will post 4 times, 5 times in a week because it's just like, this is cool. This was a cool angle. And then you kind of go dormant. But you know what? It's all welcome. And literally, dude, there's people that I've met, honestly, just through Instagram. Never even spoken like I've spoken to you guys. And like, they're just great people, and you can read it through their text back and messenger and everything. Like it's
absolutely
pretty crazy community.
No, I agree with you. So you might have said this with the World of Nintendo sign, but what's the farthest you traveled to pick up a piece? Did you travel farther than 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 45 minutes, whatever it was? I guess
I'm just looking around. I'm looking around. Well, yeah, like, I mean, I've definitely got things I got things in this room from like Spain. Like I bought things when I was in Barcelona. So I guess
you actually went to Spain.
Yeah, I was in Spain, so I started looking up game stores in Spain.
That's awesome. That's great.
For sure. And Italy. Actually, there's stuff from Italy too.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's it's crazy. That's what I mean. Once you put your collection together, it's kind of like, it can kind of almost be like, just like pictures or like time capsules of a time, right? Like, It's weird if I actually broke it down and sat here. I have one of those memories that I could be like, I know exactly the story behind each piece. Really, who gave it to me, where I was, what show. Like it kind of, that's kind of I don't know if it's like an ADD or obsessive compulsive thing or whatever, but it's just, I feel like I can remember every story behind everything.
I think that's one of the great things about collecting. Like, I feel like everyone has that like memory of every piece that they've owned, unless it's like just a game in a big lot that, doesn't matter, just goes on your shelf. But like we all remember the prices that we paid for everything. Like we all have like that photographic memory. At least I know that I do, and everyone that I talk to like knows exactly what they paid for everything.
I think that's a point of pride in our community. Like you want to be like, hey, I didn't pay that much for this rare piece or this something that I really wanted.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Yeah.
I'll tell you what I lost on, and I'll tell you what I won on. Like one good thing, there's another guy in Ohio who's a crazy collector. I think he goes by Big Time James.
Yeah. Huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crazy. So Joel's his buddy too. And he brought me back the ceiling fan. So when this room was being done, when I was kind of redoing the room and like literally painting the walls before I had my cabinet moved in and everything, he brought me the ceiling fan. Like it's pristine. I got a Mario ceilings fan from, I think it's 89.
Yeah.
So that's like one of the light sources in here. And Big Time James, I think, I don't want to speak out of turn, I thought he had a complete boxed NES collection and maybe Super Nintendo, like something insane. But the guy just like, I got a trash can from his store. I think they're called James Games and More in Ohio. So there's some stuff that's like travel the piece. The one thing that was really kind of a neat piece, I talk about the big Super Mario 2 clock that I think came from South Carolina when I was in Florida. So we're coming back from Florida and it's the winter, and there's going to be like a huge snowstorm the next day. And I'm like, okay, I'm literally planning the drive back with my son, who I guess at the time, if this is going back to, like, he's not even a year old, right? So we're like, okay, we're going to stop in North Carolina, and then we're going to stop in Buffalo and stay, so that I can wake up in the morning, go to my box and pick up this clock, right? So I literally got there in a snowstorm. They go, we weren't thinking of opening today, this Connects box. I get my clock. I had a week of meetings, and then COVID struck and everything was shut down. So I would have never got this clock home if that was the case. But
wow.
Yeah. Anyways, I feel like I've been ranting. I honestly, I'm Kelly. What's the pride of your collection? Because I want to learn a little bit. I just started following you today, and it's not out of disrespect. It's just when like
there's a lot of people on Instagram.
Well, I'm following you now. But what's your pride of your collection? I really want to know.
My niche is Game Boys. Cool. That's kind of where my heart lies, and that's where it's always been, is with Game Boys. So the stuff that really gets the serotonin bubbling is when I look at my wall, and it's not done yet, and I don't have any excuses because I've been in this house for almost a year and a half now.
It's called life, and like, hey, we're okay to be lazy at night too and just want a game instead, right?
Right. But so once the whole thing gets up, it's going to be even better. But just looking and seeing the rainbow of Game Boys that I have above my games, it's something about that you just see that really simple piece and it makes you happy. And like for you, it's Mario, or for Bo, it's a kiosk. But for me, it's that. And just to look at and see all these beautiful colors of the same thing.
So they're all Game Boy colors, or some of them the original Game Boy in different colors?
Yeah, so I have a little bit of everything. Right now, the only ones I have out on display are my pockets and my colors. But I do have the original DMGs. I have a couple Game Boy Advances and a couple SPs as well that I need to put out on shelves. But yeah, right now it's just like basically the pockets and the colors, and they just look so nice sitting next to each other. And I put them in rainbow order, and they're all nicely spaced, so it makes it look really pretty. And it's just like I'm not collecting like, the rarest Game Boy ever, or, I'm just getting all the colors because I like it. And if I come across it and I don't have it, I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, I'll take that. So that's kind of how my collecting goes. And like I said, mostly focused on the Game Boys and the games for them. And yeah, that's pretty much my wheelhouse.
I'd say that's a sleeper collection, but it's not. Like a Game Boy collecting is crazy popular. It's like,
oh yeah,
and it's a tough one. Like at one point I really started going after original Game Boy boxes, and like I got kind of crazy with it. Like I got quite a few, but then when I tried to trade, even like it's a tough thing to trade because there's so few people that want them, and if they like. Dick Tracy and Game Boy Complete, like the thing's $1,000. Like it's just, it can get so silly. But I think having all those colors, that is a really neat collection. And I've seen a few on display. I'm, like I said, I started following you today, and I'm going to be like going through your posts and checking them out. But I think that's a really cool collection to have.
She has an amazing game room. I love it.
Thanks, Bo.
Yeah.
Are you guys close? Do you guys live close to each other?
We live. She just moved to a new house like a year ago, and she moved 5 miles away from me.
Yeah, it's like 5-minute drive to get to your house.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it works out perfectly.
See, I have a good group of buddies. Like I have a pretty solid group of friends that have been my friends for a long time. And, probably even before I really got collecting here, they'll come in this room and sometimes they're impressed. Most of the time not, right? That's the friends you have, because you do meet people. It's funny. When people find out you live close to them, they're like, I got to get in your games room and take a look. I'm very, I'm a little leery of that with a stranger. You know what I mean? To know where
Absolutely.
I live. If you look at my Instagram, you've never seen the outside of my house. You've never seen my car. There's nothing to do with outside. Maybe if I'm at the cottage or on a post on a story or a trip, there'll be a picture, but I am a little leery when someone's like, oh, I've been, following you for a long time. I got to see your games room. I don't you live in Hamilton? I live this far away. I'm like, well, we'll pump the brakes and get to know you.
Yeah.
But my own friends, they'll come in here and be like yawn. Oh, I swear to God. So that's what part of, but that's why they're your buddies, right? And that's why they stick around. But yeah,
exactly.
The odd person that's got in here, but I mean, you guys are more than welcome whenever we can make it happen.
For sure, man. I agree. You got to keep people, 3 feet away sometimes. And I've had some weird encounters on Instagram where someone that I've never even talked to messages me out of the blue. Like I don't follow them, but they follow me.
Yeah.
And they're like, where do you live in Pennsylvania? And I'm like, who are you? You want to say hello first?
Yeah.
And they're like, my brother lives in PA. I'm going to go visit him next month. We could probably hang out. And I'm like, I don't know. And you didn't even say hi. Let's start from 0.
Yeah.
You're starting at 25.
Yeah.
And now I'm blocking you because I don't like any of this. Yeah.
You know what's nice about your collection? Go ahead. How many kiosks are you going to get out?
You're not getting shit, especially because they're all second floor, and it took 2 strong men to bring all of these up the stairs. So yeah, good fucking luck on the kiosk.
Man, I'm blown away. I think your setup is one of the coolest because, even with when you look at a collection like I have, and it's been fun to build it up, but it's literally there's still the day where you're like, maybe this is gone and I just have something else in this room. And I have a multi-cab or something, and I have games that way. Cause I look at kiosks and I go, man, that's hours of fun. Fire it up. Let's go.
Yeah.
But I mean, even you're looking at it sometimes going, right? Cause you have it. You have the win. You got your kiosk. You can play on it. But we're people at the end of the day. A collection is one thing. I pretty much only post my collection, but I try and put some things of life experience and how I found in a story, and that's my outlet. Right.
Yeah.
So I really I'm blown away by your kiosk collection, man. It's something nuts.
Well, thank you, man. I love it. I mean, the first one I got was the PS2 kiosk, and there's a picture of my wife and I driving to New York. We drove 4 hours for it, and it was one of the more expensive ones. It was the most expensive one before I got the GameCube kiosk. And
okay, hit me with numbers. Can you share numbers?
Sure. 700 or 750 for the PS2 kiosk. And we drove 4 hours one way and then 4 hours back. And my wife thought we were going to have a day in New York, and it wasn't like that at all, because we hung out in this game store and I brought stuff to haggle with, but they were just trying to bottom dollar me, and I was like, I'll just keep my stuff and just buy the kiosk, man, and head home.
Grab a burger and let's drive.
Yeah, we literally grabbed a slice of pizza like right next to the game store and drove home, and she was not happy at all, and you can see it in her face on Instagram in that picture. But then after that, I met J-Bam and talked to him, and I was like, I put the World of Nintendo cabinet up on eBay because I had it in my kiosk room, and it just looked out of place. I didn't have any games in it because I was in the game room, which is next door, all on the second floor. And I had it on eBay for like a ridiculous price, like $3,000 or $3,500, and a bunch of messages, like 120 people were watching it in like the first 5 days, and everyone wanted it for cheap, and I was just like, I don't know any of these people, I don't want to meet any of these people,
they almost got to come in, right?
Yeah, they would have to come up the stairs and stuff. And so I was like, let me reach out to people in the community that I know through Instagram, not necessarily met, and J-Bam was one of them, probably the only one that I actually reached out to, and he was like, I'd be honored to own that cabinet. And I was like, honestly, dude, like, I've been following you, like, you were like one of the first people that I followed when I started my gaming account, and you seem like an amazing guy. Like, he had a museum exhibit then, like a video game exhibit inside of a gallery, which I thought was really cool. And I was like, I would love another kiosk. Like, what do you have? Like, I really want a GameCube one. And he's like, I raffled that one off at an auction for the gallery. I have this one, and that one. And I was like, the Dreamcast sounds really cool. Like, I love the Dreamcast. I knew that you could mod it too. So I got it modded as well. And he's able to get the Dreamcast.
So modding it, what just means you have every game, or it's the picture quality, or
like it has a SD card reader inside of it, so it doesn't play discs anymore.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So,
which is, I know it's a faux pas. Like, everyone wants to say physical media. Well, you know what? Those discs, how many more years are they going to play, right? The same way.
Yeah, it's that, and it's also the price of every game, like, that I want to play. Like, I want to be able to play all these games that are great games, but I also don't want to spend $200 per game that's great, Yeah. So yeah, I modded it for $200, and it's perfect. It boots up. I don't have to mess with any of my discs that I have for Dreamcast. But it was a great trade. And then, we got to talking more. I saw one of his buddies had a Wii U kiosk for sale, and I asked him if that was a good price. He was like, bro, I got one of those, and I still got this Xbox kiosk that has your name on it. I'm like,
wow. So just like kind of just crazy.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, all right. Like, what do you want for him? Like, money wise? And he's like, just let's do it all in trade. What do you got? And I'm like, I don't want to trade any of my good stuff. He's like, I'll take whatever video game stuff you have. And I had a bunch of stuff. So it was like 7 PS2 systems with controllers and cords, 6 PS1 systems, like a big Street Fighter joystick, 100 Nintendo Power magazines that I bought from Kelly for $1 a piece. I'm sure they're going for so much more now.
Yeah. That was back when they were not worth much of anything.
Yeah. And like,
isn't that funny? How that works?
Yeah. I think Jay was like, I'm not going to pay more than $3 a piece for them. I'm like, whatever, like, that's fine. So that was like $300 towards there. Might have even been $2 a piece, but just a bunch of like loose odds and ends. And I went up with my buddy's truck, who has like a big F-150, thinking we could fit both these kiosks and an Xbox and a Wii U kiosk all in one trip. And I was like, there's no way without damaging both of them. So we took the Wii U, and I came back like a month or two later for the Xbox in my truck. So then I had 4 kiosks, and I was like, this is good. This room is looking great. My wife keeps getting angrier at me. And I have all these like.
Hey, the fact that you have how many kiosks now?
I have 6 in the room, but
she's a pretty damn good partner, bro.
Yeah, she's great. and like before this had a kiosk in it, this was her makeup room. Like this is like,
so you took her room away too.
I kicked her out of this room.
I remember that. I remember that like conversation and lead up to getting PS2 and like going over to your house when it still was Kayla's makeup room and then going over and slowly watching it transform. And now I just walk in there and it's like beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, kiosk noises all over the place.
Oh, I love it.
It's great.
And then
thankful for the women in our life that just understand our madness, but more importantly, just like us, I guess. I don't know why.
Yeah, absolutely. Just our partners in life, you know. But yeah, and then Kelly told me about an N64 kiosk that's not like original Nintendo. It's Kids Pace that was at a convention that we go to every year in Pennsylvania, like close to Philadelphia, called Too Many Games. And she was there Saturday and I keep hitting her up, but she's like enjoying the convention. I'm like, can you send me pics? Like what's it look like? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, chill, like you're coming up tomorrow, like you'll see it. And
Too Many Games was in New York?
Philadelphia. Yeah. And so I came up, and what did they want originally for it, Kelly?
Was it like 600?
Yeah, 600 or 700 something.
Is that crazy? That seems good.
No, it's really good, but it's not original Nintendo. Like it's like in a dentist's office. It's the same company that made like the McDonald's kiosk, but it's not a McDonald's kiosk. But it's so cool. And I go up there, the TV's like all shot, you know, the controller joysticks are beat. And I guess I was the only person that showed interest in it, but I ended up talking them down to $300, and they gave me a fresh new like OEM Atomic Purple controller as well.
Very cool.
And got that, and then I found the PS1 kiosk locally, actually, like in the city.
So what would can you mod a PS1 kiosk too? See, look at this. I'm just asking questions like I don't know.
Yeah, you can mod a PS1 for sure. I didn't do that. I would rather, like, there's some systems that, you know, like the N64 I have an EverDrive for.
Right.
But the PS1 and the PS2, like I would rather have the games for. You can mod them. I think you need hard drives though for them as well. Like either you have them on the hard drive. I don't know if they read SD cards, if there's a mod for that or not. I'm unfamiliar with it, but the PS1 I absolutely love for the light gun games. Kelly and I are all big into light gun games, and so I just have the Namco light guns plugged into the PS1 at all times.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, super fun. And then my buddy Stiv, I don't even know what his IG is anymore. He changes it all the time. He drove up from Kentucky to deliver me the GameCube kiosk, and that was the most recent one. So yeah, a lot of kiosks. This isn't about
one of the last memories. Like we went to New York for like a baby moon, for the baby was here, and we kind of centered it around like a couple shows. We did like Lion King and whatever else that you do on Times Square, and then or just off Times Square, I guess. And but the Nintendo store. And then when we went down, so I'm a big Raptors fan. So I'm a big NBA fan. So Raptors are playing the Knicks, which was a guaranteed win because the Knicks were terrible. And then the next night, the Maple Leafs played the Rangers, right? So we kind of centered a trip. The stuff that you hear about New York now, I just hope it gets back to normal, man. I miss that place. That was
oh yeah, me too.
It's such a cool place, and I don't know. I think we're coming through it. It'll be interesting to see what the next 6 months are, but I hope I can get back to. And honestly, flying from Toronto here, it's like literally 50 minutes. Like you're like up down in New York proper in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Crazy.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, so we're hoping to get back because the Nintendo store is really cool. I think we bought the kid's first onesie before we even knew who he was, or that he was going to be a boy, and whatever. We just bought him a little Mario outfit, and I think that was about it. I got a hat from I just got a hat from there that says where the world comes to play, because I didn't want anything you could get out of Walmart. I just wanted something you could get at Nintendo New York. You know what I mean? So
right.
Yeah, that's super cute.
But some amazing times there in New York for sure. But
absolutely,
yeah.
Right on.
But yeah.
Well, we'll get back to
to this interview.
Some
geez, guys. Well, you know what? Because during everything, I've just like reloaded, so I hope I'm not rambling too much. I got
No, I just rambled about my kiosk, which I feel like
that's not rambling, dude. I'm interested. I'm asking questions. I find kiosks to be very cool. From someone that doesn't have one or I don't have like one of those super bright. I don't have a Nintendo Lite or an N64. Yeah. So I find that stuff all very cool, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. I know that you know the one person that has so many kiosks in Canada, and that's Six Swap.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, well, he has no room to even play his kiosk, so hit him up when you're ready to have one.
He is one of the coolest guys I've ever met. So I talked about Super 1UP Games in Hamilton, and one of the owners was selling and literally giving away cabinets. Like he had a PlayStation cabinet, like black PlayStation cabinet, original Xbox cabinet. I think he got them both, and I don't want to. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn, and if I don't know if Six Swap listens to this or not.
No, but I'll tell him to.
Might have got both for like 500 Canadian.
That's great.
I could be wrong, and he could tell me bullshit, but I think he got him like so.
We're talking big display cabinets.
Yeah, people reach out to me and go, "Can you help me?" I'm like, "Okay." Like, so I'm down there the one day trying to sell, and this guy, Matt, he has complete. I think he has complete, and he has complete, super, like crazy. But when you start getting into completes of like whole systems, like library, like you can't actually display it. Like you have it in totes. Like he had totes of like maybe a room like mine. Let's say it's 12 by 15, 18 feet, and it's just totes stacked to the ceiling of every game. Yes, you can't even display it. You have too many games.
Yeah,
that's just what it is.
Too many games.
So too many games, like the show. So I think that's when I first met him, and I can't remember his name, but I seen him at all the shows. He's such a great dude, and he got some nice cabinets. I think he's got a Game Boy Advance cabinet. It's just, you know how Instagram works, guys. Once you start following a few people and you don't even see people's posts anymore, the algorithm, everything's all messed up. So I can follow someone who's my best friend. I don't see their posts.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't see what he posts if he's even posting as much as he is, but the guy's a beast. He just went after everything, and he'll show up with his pickup truck and load it all up and take it away.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So, I mean, back to the interview. I don't know if you have any more questions for me. I'm just a boring Nintendo Mario guy.
No, we have a few more.
Yeah.
So you did mention the antique store that you work at, or that you sell stuff at, right?
I had a booth. I'm actually out of there now. I was in there in an antique booth with my mother-in-law. So my mother-in-law, little background on her, like they were mid-century, like modern collectors, but like talk about metal signs, push bars, fiber shades, everything from the 50s and 60s. If you see the upstairs, if you ever see a post of mine upstairs, it's like we kind of spun off that and stuff that we like, more 60s stuff, but like everything's a Jaguar lamp with a fiber shade in this house. I swear to God.
I love it.
That's really cool.
We're chasing that stuff. And so my mother-in-law and I went into a booth where we would just garage sale find stuff that we had. Well, she finally was tapped out. Like we've been in this booth it's not something we manage. We basically set things aside, pay a rent, and the flea market mall that it is sells for us. They take a percentage, and we would, get, let's say 90% of what the item was for. And then if there's like a monthly fee. So I'm actually out of there now because I filtered a lot of extra Ninja Turtle stuff through there, some video game stuff. But most of the stuff in our house was because, we kind of spun off what they did. They used to go to, let's just say it was like estate sales, and you'd be taking home signs for like, talking metal signs, like, think of like, they don't have Black Cat, but just think of that kind of era where you had, cigarette companies, alcohol companies, pop companies. So Sprite signs from the 50s and 60s, like they were finding these things before it got cool on American Pickers, right? So that was kind of what they went after. So we kind of had a kinsmanship ever since I met, their daughter and met my mother-in-law. We were into digging for things and finding things. So we kind of shared a booth. She actually had to step out. She goes, like, if you think about garage sales, we were really limited this year too. Like we couldn't find stuff in the wild the same way. People were really weird. Like I don't know what you guys are facing. Like, not that we're wearing masks every day, but there's people like wearing masks outside of garage sales, wanting to spray your hands for a garage sale. Like, give me a break. Like, honestly, with no politics intended, but it just wasn't the same. We weren't finding the same. So she's like, I'm tapped. Like, everything in my house I bought because I like it. And they had a shed that they filled up over the years. Well, she sold all that stuff over the last 3 or 4 years. So we finally are kind of tapping out. This is my last, actually 2 weeks there. But yeah, it's good by me because I don't have as much stuff to sell up there anymore either, just because of how this year's garage sailing went.
Right. Yeah, that's it. I'm finding the same thing. So I also vended an antique store here, and I'm finding the same thing. You know, the garage sales, while there were plenty of them, they were either full of crap or people wanted outrageous amounts of money for stuff.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, I mean, I went to one that was like, I think it was like 2 weekends ago. And like, I don't know how your garage sales do up there, but like, right, I'm surprised there's still some that are happening right now, but we are at like the very tail end of our garage season, garage sale season. And I was at a garage sale in a neighborhood, and I just went through the whole neighborhood, and it's not a small neighborhood, it was a big neighborhood. So I had planned like my whole morning, and I was done in like an hour. And I was like, crap. Like, and I came out with like maybe 5 things. And I was like, well, this wasn't very successful. And now I have a whole day where I was like ready to go garage sailing. And, I was in the mindset, and I'm like looking for more, and there's nothing around.
So what we love it. I mean, hey, we all have nice pieces in our homes and collection and what we like. I'm in it to find that gem on a garage sale day. So the only good day I had, it was like a collective kind of like a goodwill show that they out at our cottage, which isn't far from where we live, but it's like a country drive, 45 minutes, and you're on Lake Erie. So Pennsylvania, Lake Erie. Right. So we're on the other side, probably waving at you, but, they had the entire airport hangar, and it's literally like, make us an offer at the end. And like, to me, it felt like the old days. Like, I'm loading up this. They had shopping carts. I'm loading up VHS. I'm loading up like old Halloween decorations from the 80s and stuff. Like, I'm loading up all this interesting stuff. At the end, you want to be fair by them, and like, because they're doing it for charity essentially. But that was the one day where it felt like this is how it used to be. Like, we're finding some stuff here, and I posted a picture of all like the VHS I found. I guess there was like a Halloween VHS with an alternate box art on VHS. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know.
People go crazy for that.
People go crazy for VHS, which I didn't even know. I was just finding stuff that was like, I will watch this on the VHS player I have in my other room. Right? But no, it's not. It wasn't the same. People are very strange. I think the internet has ruined a lot for those, sneaky gems, because people go to the sold listings and they're pricing things outrageously. I'm like, look, unfortunately, and this is, I don't want to be callous. Grandpa died, or he's in a home. Do you want to get rid of the stuff out of your house? What are you going to do with it if we don't buy it today? Are you going to take it to the Value Village and just give it up? Or are you going to take it to the thrift store and just give it up anyways? Or do you want to sell it today?
Right.
And I'm really fair with people, but I didn't find, like, first of all, garage sales weren't happening in this neck of the woods that much. I think a lot of people were scared. And then when they did happen, there wasn't really the deals like we used to have. Like, I remember just finding, I don't know if maybe I'd steal American Pickers line, but like, we found honey holes in the past. We find gems, like stuff that maybe wasn't up your alley, but like, you'd find board games from the 90s, like Power Ranger board games for $1. Like, I find that stuff all the time. Right. So it's just stuff that someone is interested in that would help me fund my antiques store, a little shop. But like, you'd find things for $1, you put $12, which was still fair, but you at least make enough to make your rent, and then maybe you sell something. I just found that was really difficult this last year.
Yeah. I think the other weird thing for us too, I don't think it was necessarily COVID related, but I definitely think it had an impact. Was this year we lost a major flea market in our area.
Oh yeah.
So for us,
what were they called?
It was called Saturday's Market, and it closed, and it was a major flea market, like for a very surrounding area, and like it was very big. And the fact that it closed really put a huge dent in the flea market in our area. Yeah. Like, there's one left, but I went to it I don't even think I went this year at all, just because I wasn't even sure if they were doing it every weekend because of COVID initially, but it took a huge hit. And I think that also was an impact on like how people were selling things too, and like how they were pricing, is because that closed and nobody was vending there anymore.
I honestly, give me a Saturday in the summer, diving into things, not even on the top table. I want under the table, and that's heaven. I know it sounds funny, but I like to like thrift and find things and win a gem, like find a gem. Hey, we all pay up for things that we want, right, Bo and right, Kelly? Like you want to absolutely pay up for the things you like, but you want to find that thing in the odd time. You want to just dig in, and that's honestly, I used to golf a lot on Saturdays. Let's say 10 years ago, I'd rather be thrifting than anything, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's that drug that you get addicted to, for sure. That next find.
Yeah, that definitely fuels the hobby, I think.
Well, hopefully it comes back. And I don't know if, not that specific flea market would come back, but that's what for me, my interpretation of, let's say, and usually with the American flea markets I've got too, which was was Clarence, and then there's a few in Ohio. Like they have a day, right? It's like the third Sunday of whatever. And it's just like, there's nothing like it. I honestly, I think that's what, used to really encourage me, is like, you could just go find anything there and maybe it's a fair price. People just want stuff gone. I don't know. We'll get back there. I think everything's coming back to like, we're all sitting on too much stuff now. We're going to have to recycle these goods too. Right. So
maybe soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, back to talking Nintendo, when you're like looking for stuff for your collection, do you see a lot of bootleg Nintendo products, or do you like to collect them too? Or do you just say, nah, I don't want that?
I haven't found much. The only thing, so I did, I went on a trip, with my wife, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, I guess it's going back 3 years ago, to Hong Kong. And we went to Hong Kong, for about, I think it was 16 days, which was one of the coolest trips I've ever been on my life. And they have a lot of night market. And I don't know if it's changed now. Like, let's be honest, right? Like, who knows what, because it was really, British rule for 100 plus years or whatever it was. And it felt that way. Like it literally, it's a city that would be, you get off the subway and you could go 17 stories into a mall. And at the top of the mall, there's all these like bootleggy shops where you'd find like Hello Kitty, Ninja Turtles, and like weird Marios with different colors. Like, I'm telling you, the stuff was weird, but it was really cool. But they'd have a lot of night market stuff. So that's where I got a lot of my knockoff stuff. But video game wise, I've only run into some bootlegs which pass themselves off as legit. Not me personally, but I do have a lot of friends that literally, like, you open the cart and it's like been glued with that red glue. And anyone that's ever been burned by a fake cart knows that red glue, right? It's like, there might not even be a screw, right? So I've never actually been burned. I think now, which is funny because I've probably been out of the physical media thing for a while, that it's either someone I know I'm buying something off. I don't really get burned too often, but if I get a weird oddity, like I found a weird Mario 64 watch that was really knockoffy the other day for $10, I'll buy that, right? Like, I think that's neat to just staple to the wall or do whatever with, but I don't run into too much of it. But games got a little weird, and I've seen people actually get burned on like a sculptor's cut and things like that. Like it's prevalent, and it was more on the Game Boy side. I found like a lot of Pokemon. Like Pokemon was before my time, so it's like whenever I found Pokemon, it was an easy thing for me to sell because I just never. I'm sure it's great. I never played it, so I was like, I'm happy to sell this stuff. But Pokemon Game Boy carts, man, there was so many bootlegs in the marketplace.
That's a easy one to spot, though, for the most part. I've never really seen like a bootleg Pokemon game where I'm like, oh, that looks real, you know? Well, I guess I guess that makes sense. Maybe I did, and it was just fake, but no, usually you can tell like something's off with them, the label or the color of the card.
I honestly probably don't think I spent enough time, but honestly, I never really ran into a lot of knockoffs that way. But I mean, it's more prevalent than ever. And I mean, now you just have like unabashedly look at eBay. How long ago did they just switch? Like I was like I told you, I was looking for Snowboard Kids the other day. It's like, oh, it's a genuine fake. You're like, okay, so we're gonna sell this, right? I guess at least you're telling us this time. But it's one of those things. And I mean, AliExpress or whatever you want to call it, they just flood the market, right? But at the end of the day, who are we to be like, okay, so something's a $200 cart, you want to play it for $20 and you don't have let's say an emulator or an EverDrive. What do I care other than don't sell it in the marketplace and don't be weird with it. And I mean, that stuff comes up, but I think I got burned once on a Final Fight 3 sticker, and I bought it from a really well-respected video game reseller in Toronto. And I'm like, this sticker is very glossy, and the Nintendo seal of approval was green. So when you flipped it, it didn't glimmer gold, it glimmered green. That's one thing that you can definitely look for. But the sticker almost just looked too good to be true. And I got burned one time. And like $90 for a loose card at the time for Final Fight 3 wasn't a bad price. And this was from an expensive game store, right? So, but if you ever see a glint of green, kids, on your licensed Nintendo product on the seal of approval, you might have a fake label.
That's good advice.
Yeah, it's real. And I swear to God, it glints green. Because if you actually flip your little cart in your hand right now, it should glint gold. And that was someone had to teach me that too myself. Cause I'm like, this sticker just looks too good to be true.
Yeah. So is there a piece that you really want that you don't have yet, or that, might have escaped you where you could have bought it, but you're like, nah, not right now?
Wow. You're really going to hit me with that, Abo?
we're getting near the
end. So honestly, first of all, I try to carry myself with it sounds funny, but you want to just appreciate the collection you have, right? Like,
absolutely.
I remember years ago, here's a little life lesson from an old timer here, but I remember years ago driving by, like, I think it was the Corvette or something, or some nice car that my dad was in his little, I think it was like a Honda Prelude. So we're going back a few years. And I said, "Oh, Dad, do you
Honda
want the
Prelude?"
Car? Yeah, I'm old. Oh,
I love Preludes.
I was a kid. I was a 4-wheel drive, brother. Anyways, but I'm like, "Do you want that car?" And he goes, "No, I'm happy with my car." I'm like, "But look at that car. Why don't you want that car?" So I've always tried to be content with what I have, as hard as that is. And hey, we all get green-eyed a little bit when you see something really nice. Like if I looked at Bo's kiosk collection in more detail, I'd be like, geez, man, I want that N64 kiosk or whatever. I don't have much of that. One thing I would like one day, though, and I mean, talking about kiosks, I love the Super Nintendo with the Super Nintendo bar. I love the Super Nintendo kiosk. And I mean, there's one that keeps getting posted here in the GTA.
How much?
Which is, so they want $9,000. $9,000 Canadian. So like, $550 US or whatever it would be.
I looked at one
50 cents.
Yeah, I looked at one a year and a half ago at our local game store. Is it Just Press Play in Lancaster?
Kelly?
Yeah. Looked at that and they wanted $2,500 and I was like, nah, it's too expensive. But now it's like a $5,000 kiosk.
So this one's $9,500 and it has that base with the Super Nintendo with the kind of 3D graphic on it and stuff.
Yeah,
and
it had that too.
Dead mint pristine. Like it's beautiful. But the guy, you know what else? The guys had it posted on Kijiji or Craigslist for like a year. Right? It's not going anywhere.
No,
right?
Nobody's willing to spend that much.
We can't go nuts. And I mean, honestly, it'd be a really cool thing to have in my collection. But honestly, at this point, like, hey, like I traded away some games. There's one really great sign I traded towards my World of Nintendo cabinet, which was a bubbled Super Nintendo mini sign, which is uber rare. So when I traded it, my friend,
I know what you're talking about.
Lost on his World of Nintendo. He posted it, and I think he traded it for 3 fantastic CIB. So think about what that would cost right now to get. And I think one was a smoke gray. So it was like smoke gray, orange, and something else. And then the guy listed it on eBay. I'm talking 4 years ago for like $8.99 US, and it sold in minutes. So that sign was a tough one to let go because it was very rare. But that's the one thing that kind of like, I wish I would have kept that one. But I try to kind of be content with what I get and be humble when someone reaches out to me. And really now, to use my collection to trade, I can't do the same things I used to do. I just, I step up, pay for the odd thing, trade when it makes sense. I probably, if I had to trade a sign now for something even crazier with a little dough, I'd do it. but I can't think of anything that I want. And I mean, it's a good place to be, I guess, where you're not kind of like chasing something. I'm really trying to rack my brain.
Have you hit up that guy about the Super Nintendo kiosk?
What's that?
Have you hit up the guy about the Super Nintendo kiosk?
Them. It's not even it's a non-starter, right? Like,
well,
for me,
because of the price.
I'm not buying a small used sedan to put in my basement, right?
No, but you could start off by being like, hey, I've been seeing this, up for a year, and to me it looks beautiful, but I think you're asking way more than anyone's willing to spend. I'm a big Nintendo collector. I would be putting this in a great house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's your bottom dollar? And then see what he says, and then maybe be like, do you collect as well? I have this, and that he might be interested in.
You're not wrong. I just even feel like if you said, you know what, I have been sitting on here $5,000, I'd go, whoa, still like, I know where you're coming from, and I actually appreciate where you're coming from. And maybe that is a little nugget to take away and to start that kind of conversation. But you know what, when I got this, literally came in a trade, this statue, I actually didn't think I'd ever get a Mario statue. And the fact that I'm looking at him right now, and when I first got him, I mean, he's a plastic statue. I was like, I'll never get one of these guys. And I just sat here for 20 minutes and went, you know what, that's a win, right? So I'm really content. And I think we need to have some more contentment, and I get people message me, and you do too, Bo, I'm sure, like, oh, look what you got. Like, how can I go? Honestly, I try to be humble. I say I was good friends. It was right place, right time, which is a very important factor in this stuff. And it literally, I try and just be content, because, you can be green-eyed for the rest of your life. I see people like, like I said, there's another guy, Ibrahim, UK.
Oh yeah, he has an amazing collection
in the world. He's got mobile hanging displays. He's got 2 Super Nintendo kiosks by itself. I just shower the guy with love when he decides to post every 6 months. The guy's a legend, right? And I can look at what he has. He has a Mario All-Star display that only came out in the UK. He's probably 3 feet tall. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Mario top hat wand with the magic flying off it. And you just go, you know what? I'm going to clap for you, because you know what? That's absolutely beautiful. Of course, would you want something? I'd have to find space, but I'm saying, like, of course you'd want stuff. But I think if you're always chasing with, I just need this, I just need that, you're wasting your breath. I think you should look around your room, go, hey, I got some pretty cool stuff, and I got some good games, I got some good pieces, and be content.
Yeah, honestly, I would rather get rid of a kiosk and get another one right now.
Okay. Here's a question: which one would you get rid of first? What's the one that I'm trying to help sell one right now? This is what I'm doing for you.
Honestly, it'd be the PS2 kiosk, and I think the only reason why is because the controllers are broken off and it just doesn't look as nice.
Well, there you go. So people listening, Bo's Game Room, reach out, make them some kind of a crazy deal, and we'll find a way to get you a PS2 kiosk. There's only a little bit of work involved. You just have to get a couple new controllers. Yeah, you're going to have to do some work, but you're going to get a great PS2 kiosk. So
there you go.
There's my sales pitch.
Thank you. Yeah, you're good at it. They already know the price that I spent on it, though. But granted, all prices have gone up, so it's fine.
Brought it up, and I've been cursing this whole time, and I apologize for that.
Oh no, it's fine. We have an amazing editor, Sam. Thank you, Sam. Shout out to you. So if he feels like taking out the price part, that's fine too. But I really don't care. It's open knowledge now, and I'm not out here to make a buck, from people that I know on IG, but like, obviously if I'm getting rid of something, either I would go the JBam way and be like, give me something to trade with, where we're both making out, like you're getting rid of something that you don't necessarily want for something that you want, and I'm getting something that I want, and maybe there's a little bit of cash involved, or I'm still going to make 100 or 2,
without
for
getting
my
too
time.
Philosophical, man. If you send good waves into the retro world, man, you'll get it back. And honestly,
absolutely,
you look at what you've done. Like you've collected, right? You've collected your kiosk. You've done what you can. Send the good waves down the line, and honestly, it'll come back tenfold.
Absolutely,
and just be carrying yourself up here, never down here, right? So,
yep, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've said it multiple times on here. It's like, if you just put it out into the world, if you just say what you want, sometimes it shows up. And
$1 million. $1 million. All
right, hit me up when you get that. So, what is some advice that you would give to someone who wants to start collecting memorabilia like you do?
Don't do it.
Don't do it now. No, don't just you have my IG. Call me and let me sort it. No, I would honestly think now at this point, it's about honestly being a true person. Start slow and work with a local game store. Find if you're going to be trading and doing some stuff, get some kind of credibility with a couple good game stores. I know it sounds funny because they sell things for retail, but they also, if you think I got Mario 64 and Mario Kart, and I got a bunch of games that people want that I'm okay. I have doubles because that's the stuff you're always going to find garage sailing, which garage sailing are still going to come back tenfold, believe it or not. And I think, unfortunately, with the time we're living in now, if you do have a little bit of dough, you probably can pick up some stuff on the cheap, because not that, people are desperate, but a few extra bucks in someone's pocket right now goes a long way. So you probably could find some good deals right now with still being fair to the seller. And I would say buy things that people want, try and trade, try and network, use Instagram, you're going to have to grind. I mean, it's a different landscape completely. But if you want to get into the merchandising world, wait for a good deal, buy good pieces. Like I bought a 2-sided Mario 2 sign years ago. I was nuts for what I spent for it at the time. It worked out to be a great purchase because I thought, I'm spending too much. Buy good pieces. If you're trading, always get the best piece in the trade, and trade 10 things for one. Trade 10 good things for one great thing. And
absolutely.
And that's the way to do it. And I mean, hey, there's still Mario swag out there. Like if you're wanting those shampoo balls and stuff, hey, people want to sell them for a lot on eBay. Look what Bo said. He's like, I got a Mario I don't have that Mario toothbrush, so I want to trade Bo for that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's things out there that people have in their collection. And if you want to go a specific route, make it known, be a good person, talk to people. It's literally about just common decency. Really, at the end of the day, it's about talking to people and making relationships and saying, hey, this is what I'm really interested in. What are you interested in? Maybe I can help you find what you're looking for. You help me what I'm looking for. And it's back rubs. And I think that's the way to go. It's definitely tough. It's not like these signs and these pieces are falling off trees, but literally I thought I wouldn't have a sign. And once I pieced it together, it's like your room's full of them if you have a plan. So,
oh my God. Yeah. I never thought I would own a kiosk, and now
you got 6, and now you got a problem because you got too many. I'm just saying it's like stuff runs into you if you're a good person that's honest and let your collection work for you. And if you can live without certain things, I'd say focus on something.
Yep. I hear a baby.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to keep you that much longer. Are there any other stories you want to share before we close this episode out?
Guys, I've talked too much.
Okay.
I just want to say, honestly, I really appreciate the time. And I've never been on a podcast, so I didn't know what to expect. And I know it took Bo kind of coaching me how to get onto this and find the right way to do it. But I really appreciate it. It was really good to get to know you guys. I hope I didn't go on too long and drone on. But, collecting gave me... there's something when you're hunting, there's always something fun to look forward to. I think, it's been a positive experience for me. I think, without waxing too philosophical now, I think the world needs some positivity. I think, you know what?
Absolutely.
Keep chasing, make friends, make relationships, help each other. And I really do appreciate the time, honestly.
Yeah, we appreciate it too, Brock. Thank you so much.
And I'm going to DM you guys. I'm going to DM you guys my cell phone number, which obviously you won't share, but I'm going to DM it. So keep in touch. Cause honestly, I know when things open up again, Kelly wants to cross. Hey, you're 3 hours. If you're living in Pennsylvania, you're 3 hours from the border. Come hunt up here. There's some good game stores. There's some stuff. I'll let you into the Mario room and give you your Zen moment, and we'll go from there.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right?
Well, thank you so much, Brock. Yeah. Stay on the line if you don't mind. If you need to go.
No, I'm good.
10 with the baby. We're just going to end it with our sponsors and our ending and stuff.
You're awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Brock. Really appreciate it. Thank you for giving us all the knowledge on collecting, and make sure to follow B_2
twice
WICE.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a shout out as well too. So I hope that's cool.
Yeah, I'm going to use one of your pictures if you don't mind on the podcast page.
And I'll take a picture and tag you guys. But I really do appreciate it. And Kelly, I'm going to go through your Instagram and look at some of your stuff. I'm excited to learn more. Okay.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been great to get to talk for sure.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So close out. We've got our couple sponsors to talk about. On Budget Services, OBS, who is hosting our website, precisely.live. We appreciate you. If you need any internet services, please contact them. They are excellent, absolutely excellent. And also the Laurel Highlands Pour Tour, ongoing. Check it out. Western Pennsylvania, 17 breweries, and you'll have a great time, I'm sure. If anybody wants to help sponsor Precisely, please hit us up. Instagram, Precisely Podcast, or you could hit us up on our contact page on our website. Like I said, it is precisely.live. We got merch on there. It's
hoodie season right now.
It is. It
so
is.
Buy your hoodie.
Cold. It is.
Help us get some new stickers out to you guys.
Do you ship to Canada?
Yes.
I don't know. You gotta honestly just go to our website and see, because they might.
Okay.
If not, we'll figure out a way.
So we use a drop ship program where we don't have any of the merch. We just have our logos on certain merch like t-shirts and hoodies. So if you go to our website, precisely.live, you go to the merch page and you click on hoodies and you put in your address and see if it ships to you. It might be a little bit more on shipping. I think hoodies are usually $8 anywhere in America. It might be like $12 to Canada.
Cool.
But I feel like they would ship to Canada, honestly.
I think so.
I don't know. Let me know.
We'll figure it out.
Stop talking and let you get back to your ads.
All right.
And yeah, if you're on iTunes, make sure you subscribe, rate, review, all that stuff. Helps us out. And that's about it as far as the formalities at the end.
Yep. Follow me at Bose_Game Room. And Kelly, you're at
Highway to Kel.
And our Instagram is Precisely Podcast. Thank you, Brock, again. We really appreciate this. I really enjoyed this podcast so much.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Thank you, guys.
Man. And we out.
We out.